Well, open your damn eyes in. It's the old-timey country down-home red state update podcast and them. Coming to you from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And here they are, both of them.
Hey there, welcome to Red State Update. My name's Jackie Bros.
Folks, friends, people, see, I went back. I don't know how to start off the show without sounding like Joe Biden. And I know, even though Joe Biden's popularity is high, according to polls, according to Twitter, it is not. And I do not want to put off anyone who may have come on here thinking, oh, here's Jackie and Dunlap. That's me. That's what I was going to say earlier. I was going to say, friends, folks, people, it's Dunlap. I don't want people coming on here saying, okay, it's time to hear Jackie and Dunlap really give old Joe Biden down the road. I can't wait to hear that grizzled old coot and that handsome, suave young man tell Joe Biden where he can stick his $1,400 check. He owes me $2,000. Or perhaps you are the kind of person who thinks that Joe Biden, I don't know why you'd be listening to us, is not the rightful president of the United States. That's Donald J. Trump. Remember him?
That's tomorrow you're talking about. That tomorrow he's president again.
That March 4th, that's when everybody, if you listen to this March 4th, that's when he becomes president again. There's a lot of new holidays. If you like QAnon and Trump, it's like there's a bunch of holidays. Oh, Storm the Capitol Day, Trump gets to be president again Day.
Is there a bunch of holidays, or is it the same one they just keep moving down the road when it don't happen that day?
That's like if you could move Christmas as a kid when you didn't get the present you wanted.
Yeah,
you say, well, I guess we'll have it again next month. Y'all meet me back here. Bring more flagpoles. So now when I say folks, people, I feel like I'm reminding you of Joe Biden, who is the president legally, no matter what Republicans say. You may be disappointed. Maybe you're hot to trot for Joe Biden. You hear somebody say, folks, you say, yes, finally, we got a real politician in there. He can't be everything to all people, but he's trying to run this government the best way. There's a parliamentarian in there. What's he supposed to do? Old man versus a parliamentarian. You got to let the parliamentary.
Wow.
What they're paid for if they're paid. I don't know. Is this a volunteer position? I do not know what the parliamentarian is, folks. Oh, I think I'm doing your bit.
Huh?
I don't know what, Jackie, what does the parliamentarian do?
What are you asking me for if you don't know? I don't know what it does. Who is it?
I thought you were the host of a political podcast.
Oh, hell. Everybody knows better than that, don't they, by now?
So I think it's hard to be reminded of Joe Biden without feeling something. Disappointment, anger, maybe sexual arousal. I don't know.
Hey.
Maybe there's people that love Joe Biden. We were happy to get Joe Biden in there, folks, people. I did it again. Then I was going to say snakes, gators instead of folks, people, but that's hard to remember and doesn't make sense. So I got to come up with something new to say instead of folks, people, because Joe Biden is just too loaded. It's just too, you say folks, people, it'd be like if I come out and said, hey, you dumb assholes, people would be like, oh, it's Trump.
All right, hey.
Hey, you suckers that voted for me. Grift is still going on.
He say I ain't heard him say it. Of course, I ain't hanging on every word Joe Biden says. He's talking a lot, which the president's talking, and I don't have to look at it, and no one's going to tell me what he said on Twitter or whatever the hell it is. But when he was running for president, he used to say all the time, the facts are the matter of this, the facts are the matter of that. And is he still doing that? That's another thing besides fringe people. He always say, here's the facts of the matter. He knows the facts of the matter.
Look, the fact is, we've been looking at, I don't know. I do know I saw, was it Tapper? Somebody was saying Biden ain't give a press conference since he's been in office, which, I mean, thank heaven for small favors, I guess. But still, you don't want the president to avoid the press. You don't want the press to ask. We don't know how to act anymore. We don't know how to act. We got an old-timey president, as in he was born in the 1800s. He's like a Victrola for president, but he's trying to bring back the way things used to be, and for better or for worse, I don't even think we're saying that's good or bad. He's trying to just take it back to like, oh, it's boring politics. When the kids are in cages, you don't have to get so mad about it because you know that we feel bad. That everybody's like, oh man, hey, did anybody figure out how to get them kids out of them cages today? Like, no, it's on the whiteboard, but we didn't come up with a good idea. Well, shit, I feel bad about that. We do too. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Like, at least they're doing that. Where before, that's not good. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that's what's happening now. Before, they go, hey, did anybody figure out how to get them kids out of the cages? This is during the Trump administration. Somebody said, yeah, I think I got it. And then somebody pulls out a pistol and shoots him in the head.
Hey.
Yes, there were murders in the White House under Trump. There were actual murders in the country during Trump, right? Remember, like, the police killed a lot of people. They killed people under Obama too. Listen to me. I sound like Twitter.
Who are you?
I have lost my mind. And people come to us, Jackie. They come to us for reassurance, for a few witty words of wisdom. And I haven't even finished my introduction yet.
Is that what this is? Now, you said Joe Biden trying to take it back the way it used to be, which I agree with you there. He's trying to take it back the way it used to be when different from the president who said he was trying to make everything great again, to trying to make it back to the way it used to be by doing everything he possibly could to be nothing like it used to be. Other than the racism, I mean, that's the main thing, right? People was more racist. I guess like racist, it wasn't that people were more or less racist. It was back in or whenever it was great again, is that racists got away with a lot more things.
At first, I thought he just said make America great again because he wanted to get everybody's juices flowing about how they couldn't be racist like they used to be. I didn't think, and we were some worst case scenario motherfuckers during this. I do not think I actually thought he meant let's take it back to ropes and trees, but I don't think that's true. I think he really meant let's go back as far as they'll let us turn this dial. I think people were trying to tell us this too during the lead up to Trump getting elected, and during the 4 years he was in there. And we were saying he was capable of some terrible stuff. I still don't think we knew how bad it was going to get. So yes, when he wants to make it bad, he wants to make it bad again, and Biden wants to make it just a little. Remember when your parents thought this was okay? They went to see Manhattan Murder Mystery in the theater. Everybody was just getting along. Remember that? People were still getting killed. The Rodney King. There was a lot of stuff going on, but we're just trying to take it back a little bit.
Well, he was wanting to take it back to the time when people would kill, or white people would kill black people and nobody would say anything about it. Whereas now, today, you kill black people and nobody stops bothering you about it. That's the difference.
I really feel like some people have just gotten away with it. I mean, they might have 2 or 3 bad years where I wouldn't open a Twitter account, but I feel like people are getting away with it right now. We're talking about police officers.
Well, they always got away with it. They always, that's what, they always got away with it. Now, we'll see that some of them in jail, not all of them, maybe 1 or 2, maybe. But that's more than was back. I mean, it's just turning the dial from bad to worse is the point I was trying to make. If you're a minority, that is. Whereas white people seem to be doing okay any which way you turn it.
There were a lot of people who died during the pandemic. There were just a lot more deaths also in the last year.
I guess there weren't enough of Abbott down there in Texas. Of course, he's managing to kill people all sorts of different ways, not just with the pandemic. I think pretty much the cold and electricity, all that stuff would kill some people. So I'll bring up how they already know I kill people, with the pandemic. Everybody knows that. I'll just bring that up again, and maybe they won't talk about the way I was killing people. He ain't just killing Texas either. That the whole state. You drive in, drive out, every which way you go. Freeways go in and out. You know what I'm saying? Its possibility is. I guess he's looking at the situation and saying, well, look, the idiots, buttholes that are out there that ain't wearing masks, like myself, still ain't going to wear them. They ain't going to wear it. And then the people who are wearing a mask, they going to keep wearing a mask because they don't want to get sick or whatever. So it's out of the way it is. Hell, half of the places, he said, it's open 100%. Do whatever the hell you want. It's Texas. Go in, go out, breathe heavy, hold your breath, whatever it is. It's all yours. But you still got Kroger and Walmart, places that want to stay in business and not, kill all their employees. You still going to have to put a mask on to get in there, get in and out. So what did it open up? Like what's like, is it just little taverns, bars, restaurants? I know hair salons. I know people need to get their hair done.
Nothing closed. It's all open as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, open it up. Everything open. Y'all, you had it rough with no electricity and being charged $14,000 on electric bill. You know what? I owe the people up. I owe them a favor. Open everything up. Let these people do what they want. They've had a real hard time with it, and I'm the governor. I should do something for them. What can I do? I got it. Mississippi, same way, but of course, they live in Mississippi. So, what are you going to do? Open it up.
They got new vaccines coming. Biden says vaccines be out to everybody by May, or available to everybody. Everybody in the country. There's one vaccine for everybody in the country by the end of May, according to Biden.
Well, got people desperate that want it, to get it, that can't get it someplace. Some places going pretty well. Some places, it's going better with, than it ever has before, I guess. People are, getting it. But once it is out there, if he's able to pull that off, it's by May. I think he said every adult can get it. But then when that happens, then we're going to have to deal with the whole thing about the 4 or 5 million people everywhere, I guess, that are going to refuse to get it no matter what it is. Get a lot of tomorrow he gonna be president again, and if I get this vaccine, it's gonna turn me into a lizard. I don't know.
There's abortion in it.
Oh, that's right. There is abortion in it. That's true. That now I don't want to start nothing up with Catholic Town. I know I got a history there, and I just saying what I'm saying because I saw it in the paper. Bishops, they don't in the Catholic Town. A lot of people don't like abortion. I ain't gonna pick on Catholic Town, but Catholic Town never held. That's just what it is. But some bishops come up and find out there's abortion in all these single shots. I guess that's why I only need one of them because they loaded up with abortion. I guess. But that one, hey, they saying don't get it. Do any of them bishops work for Moderna or the other one?
Who does pay a bishop?
Yeah, I'm serious. All companies have to have, you have a preacher. They got a preacher that speaks before every time they have Congress or whatever. They come out, maybe, but, they got somebody blessing the trucks before they drive out to haul the vaccine. Bishops make a lot of money. And again, I ain't picking on Catholic Town, but I don't know if anybody else noticed this Catholic Church been in court for a while now, a long time. And sometimes, in order to not go to court, they pay a lot of money to people who want to take them to court. But that's been for some time. But either way, one shot got abortion in it. Try to get the other two, I guess. Or the other four, however you want added up.
Did you watch Trump talk, Jackie, when he was down there at CPAC?
Hell no. I guarantee you he didn't say anything new that he'd never said before. The man, other than, occasionally he could surprise you, like put a light up inside you and everybody drink Windex or whatever. Occasionally, he did that special, thing a few times, but for the most part, when has he said anything I need to hear that's new? I don't need to hear whether it's new or old, period. But I guarantee you, without knowing, he went down there and said the election was stole from me. You need to go get all the people that said tried to impeach me, and I'm gonna run. Well, President 2024. It's just the same, same old song and dance. I ain't gonna watch it. I didn't like it when I had to look at it every damn day. Why am I gonna look at it now? Some people obviously miss it. I don't know what the hell wrong with them. Now, I saw the CPAC thing. I did see the picture where they had a Nazi stage. I was trying to figure that out. I still don't understand how they wound up with a Nazi stage or whatever it is, performing pit. What do you call it? I don't know what it is.
It looked like it, yeah. It looked like they had a Nazi stage at CPAC. It sort of makes sense if you were like, am I at the wrong, performing arts center, convention dome? Am I at the wrong place? And you go poke your head in and you see a Nazi stage. You go, oh, yeah, okay, I'm good. That's where I'm supposed to be. I got my CPAC tickets. There's a Nazi stage here. I must be in the right place.
Well, I had it.
Nazis did a lot on stage, right? They like to perform.
It
operas.
Was a show, wasn't it? They played music. Hitler moved his arms around and yeah. Now, they say they didn't do it on purpose. Of course, they're going to say that. There are some people that will openly admit that they were definitely trying to, use Nazi symbolism, probably more today than ever, but, for a long time till, since the 50s and 40s when there actually were Nazis. Some people are like, oh, sure, yeah, that's not, I think we saw a few on the 6th or whenever, you see a Trump flag occasionally. I'm just not saying everybody Nazi. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying it's never like a shocker when you see, oh, they got a bunch of Trump flags. Oh, look at there. I mean, it just shows up every now and then, more often than not. But they said they didn't do is enough people noticed it and got mad about it. That the Hyatt Regent says at the hotel, they said, no, Nazi things are bad. They can't, they forced all the liberals complaining about the Nazi symbolism, forced Hyatt Regency to come out and say, you know what, Nazi swastikas, the whatever it is, Ankh or what, I don't know all the names of all the Nazi symbols, but they came out and said, just to cover all our bases here, that's bad. Then, of course, CPAC people got mad at Hyatt Regency. Said, no, we didn't do that. And now they got mad at the people who made the Nazi stage or whatever it is. But everybody, I think, said, I don't know about everybody, but for the most part, people have either said, we're sorry, or what the hell are you talking about, Nazi stage?
And that sounds about par for the course, except that it's usually if Republicans are involved, there'd be some doubling down on it. Like, I don't know. I mean, they had some good ideas. They feel like somebody, they haven't gone that far yet, have they? Did Stephen Miller?
I don't know. But
the doubling down usually comes into play in there somewhere too. Oh, Jackie, I'm sorry to hear about your hero, Cuomo.
What?
I know that must be hard for you to find out what a scumbag he is.
He ain't no hero of mine. What do you mean hero? Look, everybody like Cuomo when we was in the midst of the damn pandemic, the worst of it, because you had him and at least he was saying stay in, don't go wear a mask, all this stuff. And the other was saying put, Windex up in you, however you do it with the light. It ain't hard to look good when you're next to that. Excuse my language, dumbass. It wasn't just.
I'll say this. Yeah, everybody that wasn't in a New York nursing home loved Cuomo. Yeah. I do want to say that this is part of the danger. I am not blaming Cuomo's being a jerk. I'm not blaming everything he did to those women, everything he did to people he worked with. I ain't blaming none of that on Trump. But I am saying when you put people like Trump, like literally the worst, into the highest leadership position in your nation, then suddenly there's a Trump effect there where other assholes start to look good in comparison. Remember that bald-headed weasel lawyer? Oh, you loved him for a minute. What was his name?
Yeah, porn star lawyer. Yeah, he's in jail, isn't he? I think now.
We make some bad decisions. And that was that old thing we say, look who's in the car with you. If you see, look who's in the car with Trump, and people say, I'm getting out of the Trump car, and then you got to look around like, even assholes won't get in the car with the other assholes. Was it that bad? Cuomo's, I ain't getting in there with him. Of course, Cuomo's also like, well, the more that's the kind of comparison if you are a power-hungry Democrat that you encourage. I'm nothing like Trump. I'm the leader we need right now. He loved that going on there with his brother. Let's get after it. I mean, that was a good show. I feel bad for liking it now. But the Cuomo brothers talking to each other, getting ready to take their shirts off and wrestle around, that was a good show. Like Tiger King. I feel bad about liking that too.
Yeah.
This past year, we've all made a lot of mistakes. Past 400 years, we've all made a lot of mistakes. And I feel bad about a whole lot of them. Look, I hear something about Biden, and he's you have to criticize Biden. It's important, but sometimes it still feels stupid, especially right now, like right after they had people in the Capitol running down the halls, ain't trying to kill people. It looked like an evil Bass Pro Shop. A Bass Pro Shop, I reckon. But you hear like Biden Surgeon General made $2 million, and you won't go, who cares? Like, who cares? They had the flagpole swinging. And then if it was Trump, though, we'd done 30 minutes on his Surgeon General. The corruption, Jackie, the graft is endless. But the corruption and graft was endless. Oh, man, he fucked us up. He kind of ruined it. That's why you wanted Biden to come back in. Biden's like the guy who comes in, works for the landlord of the apartment complex when somebody moves out and they kick a bunch of holes in the wall. Biden's like a guy that's been there for years and get underpaid, just patches the holes. He maybe repaints. He ain't gonna put up new wallpaper. You don't want Joe Biden hanging wallpaper. That shit's gonna get all. It look like damn Laurel and Hardy by the time he gets done, like slow motion Laurel and Hardy. I think I got it stuck to my. Oh boy! Oh Christ! I got it all over me now. Just paste footprints up and down the hallway. Oh, well, you're looking. I don't even know. It unfurled all the way down the stairs. Like, don't ask Joe Biden. Don't ask Joe Biden to wallpaper a house. You just want somebody. We wanted somebody to patch the holes. Maybe you didn't. Maybe the holes. Like, fuck the holes. Burn it down. We got to burn it down. He needs to write me a check for $2,000 and then burn it down. And then the minimum wage. And then bomb Syria. Wait, no, don't bomb Syria. Did you say don't bomb Syria? Gee, I wrote it down on I had a piece of paper on it. I wrote it on a piece of paper. I don't know where it is. You could see me. I'm patting all over my body looking for a piece of paper, but I'm doing it real slow. I'm enjoying it. I wish you could see me, actually.
Hey.
Where's that paper?
All right.
Hold on. I may have it.
Just
I think I found it.
Shut your mouth. Yeah, Joe Biden would know he's doing good in the poll because we're all traumatized. If it weren't for Trump, we'd probably all be a lot more upset about, Saudi Arabia. Getting to do, kill whoever they want, I guess. Whatever reporter they want to. But still, we ain't seen him there at his house, high-fiving him yet.
The expectations, man, he just redefined a lot of things. It's where you think the expectations of what's going to happen after Trump feels like there's going to be just parades and candy and $2,000 and things that people talked about. And it's just been like a city council meeting, which I think is what Biden is, I guess, patching holes, city council meeting, stumbling through wallpaper paste. I think these are the things that Joe Biden, promised. Joe Biden's campaign really was don't get your hopes up. And I think we got our hopes up a little too much. I feel like the whole time, like, come on. His faces don't get your hopes up. You see him on TV, like, don't get your hopes up. And now I think some of us got our hopes up. It is weird, and it's been, a month and a half? We went from them storming the Capitol to Biden president to recall Biden. Can we recall Manchin? Like, if we started there, I think we'd like Biden better.
Work your way up to Biden. Start with him. Yeah.
We didn't vote for Biden to get, Manchined. Did I vote? I hope to God I did. I'm gonna
I
feel like
think
an
you
idiot.
did this time. I think it's the one time you did.
I'm on here 4 years going, y'all better get out there. He's ruining the country. And then I'm pretty sure I did. My memory ain't what it used to be. Where did I had it on a list? Hold on a second. I had a to-do list, and vote is on there.
Quit looking on your body for paper of any kind. I don't care what kind of list it is. Stop it now.
Oh, I found it.
Shut your mouth.
That's a long list.
The thing is, you can't go back to whatever the hell it was because it don't work like that. Everybody with Trump wanted to go back to the damn 1950s or further back in that, whatever it was. People put Joe Biden because we wanted to go back before Trump, but you can't do that. It's everything's messed up now. I ain't
Didn't anybody watch?
I don't know how to fix it is all I'm gonna say, but everything you can't. You put Biden in there to be like it was with Obama, like Trump was never there. No, you can't do that. They shutting down tomorrow. The House is not gonna show up. Good for them because crazy people think Trump's gonna be president again and they're gonna show up possibly. I don't remember that happening under Obama. Now, granted, there was some, there's Ferguson. There was some things and some bad situations. I ain't giving him a pass. But I'm saying you didn't have, didn't see armed, people trying to run over the Capitol.
We don't have to wallpaper this shit eventually. Like we got to get somebody in here who knows how to wallpaper.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
It's got to be a whole new wallpaper. Can't put the old one back on. No, we got to start. You got to start all over. You got to redo everything. It's got to look different. If you're going to do it, you're going to have to get all new wallpaper. You need to tear this down.
Yeah. Don't get none of this racist wallpaper.
That's hard to do in the White House. I think pretty much isn't all the wallpaper in the White House racist at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Everybody, Jackie Bros. That's me, and that's who you've been listening to for however long so far. And I guess you're going to have to listen to me a little bit longer.
Pine cones, persimmons. This is Dunlap.
What?
How did that one go?
Pine cones, persimmons.
Pine cones and persimmons. I'm not going to say, people, if I'm not going to say snakes and gators, and maybe I'll say pine cones and persimmons.
Snakes and gators makes more sense than pine cones and persimmons.
Do you ever eat at pine cones and persimmons before they shut down for the pandemic?
Now I think they opened back up, but I ain't sure. But no, I never did get down there. It was bad for them because they just opened up, and then of course look what happened. I guess that happened to a lot of people in the country. But yeah, I never did. Is it good?
It's overpriced. It's like avocado toast for like $12, $13.
I ain't gonna eat. I wouldn't eat avocado toast for free, let alone pay $13 for it.
It's one of them, they come in, they gentrify the neighborhood, they make you pay too much for toast. Then they get tired of running a restaurant and they go start a magazine. One of them restaurants.
Well, I think they have delivery or something now, but they were. I don't know if you allowed to go in there or whatever, but I didn't eat there, and I guess I ain't gonna call them up to deliver nothing either.
They got in trouble because I think also Pine Cones and Persimmons was a show on Channel 8 for kids.
Oh yeah.
So I ain't ate there since like February, I guess. It's kind of one of them dine and dash things. Take a bite and be like, It's really $13. But Jackie, everything's $13 now. It's just the way it is. Everything costs $13. You ever go to McDonald's? Hell, that's all $13.
For two people to eat at McDonald's nowadays, that's going to cost you going to spend $15, $20. That's that.
Hell.
And I ain't going to get on here and scream about minimum wage. That ain't what I'm trying to do. I'm just talking about paying too much for food. That's it.
Go in a damn. Well, they do. Well, like if you don't pay them $15, how can they eat at McDonald's for $13 and have two left over?
Well, you're right about that. But
damn.
Ought not be eating McDonald's anyway. It ain't no good for nobody. Tastes good. I like it though. I like every month I'm gonna have to at least get me a Big Mac or something. So the people working at McDonald's can't afford to buy food at McDonald's, except I guess with the discount. I guess that's what makes up the difference, huh?
They give them a discount.
Hell, I don't know. I ain't work there. Usually, if you work someplace to serve food, you get to eat it, not for free. You get a discount or something, but I don't know.
That's the man using you to test to see if that food would kill a paying customer.
That's probably right, yeah.
Yeah, every restaurant I ever worked at, they say, okay, and you get the half price, or get I tell you what, rolls 50 cents. You got to put in a quarter for this Demas roll.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You go in these restaurants and they say, yeah, come on and have some lunch. It's free. Or you get a free in, or you get a half off trip to the damn. They're using you to make sure they ain't food poisoning a paying customer. Because what's it to them to lose a minimum wage lackey or less? Nothing. You drop dead, they'll say, well, they must have been on drugs. They can't say that about their customers. So don't work in a restaurant that lets you eat there free, because it's a trick.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned in my, not many years. I'd say about 26 years. Now, however old Harry Styles is.
You used to work in a lot of restaurants, but you didn't work there but like 2 days. You worked in the dishwasher a lot, and then you was a prep cook one time. You worked the drive, but yeah, you usually didn't last longer than about 3-4 days. So I guess
all I'm trying to do in there is steal a bunch of silverware and in and out. I like cloth napkins, and I like silverware is something good to throw out the window of the car, because if it lands in somebody's yard, that's gonna mess up their lawnmower. If it lands on the road, it makes a satisfying clatter. And if it bounces off against somebody else's car, it'll fuck that shit up. It's
all
good.
right.
Get a knife from a restaurant. Just one of them old butter knives or whatever. That's a good clatterer. Just litter. The streets of Murfreesboro used to be just littered with the forks I'd throw out the window. Jobs are fun, man.
Well, you learned a lot on those 3 or 4 days, and I appreciate you passing on the wisdom to other restaurant employees.
Uh-huh.
Not to eat the food there, to clatter their damn forks, I guess.
A lot of them have buckets full of salad dressing, and you can stick your whole arm in there.
All right.
Because it's like, why would you? Well, why wouldn't you? I'd like to have you ever been up to your elbow in Thousand Island?
No, I ain't ever been. Not on purpose.
Well, accidents happen.
They do. And I've spilled some ranch dressing and had to clean up. I mean, things happen when you work in the food, industry. It's full of mishaps. And that's why you got to be prepared and ready for almost anything. Yeah.
I worked at J. Billy Carly Harder's once. I don't know, most of an afternoon. And they had salad dressings in the back. It was a hot day. And they was back in the cooler. I come in from running around the parking lot. We had a bet going how many times I could do it. I did once. And then they said, come in here, cool off in the cooler. I said, is that where the salad dressings are? And they said, yeah. I said, well, as soon as I stick my arm in one of these salad dressings, I can go ahead and quit. I said, well, I'd like to see you do it. And I said, give me 2 of them. And I walk in there and quit with salad dressing dripping off the one arm and a whole other kind of salad dressing dripping off the other. They said, I'd like to see that. And I said, well, okay, give me a ranch, give me $1,000. I got my arm up in there, got it down on the floor, got my arm up in them buckets, and I went in there just arm drenched. And just slaying that salad dressing as I strode across that restaurant carpet to the managers back there where they all huddle around and get high with their slightly better drugs than the other people have. And I said, I quit. And they said, did you even do the paperwork yet? I said, fuck you and your paperwork. Trying to kill me. This free half-off meal. Can I borrow a towel? One towel I'll just take this whole thing of napkins.
Which restaurant was it that because I remember that one. There was another one that you got fired. You ruined all the whipped cream because you were breathing in the whipped cream thing, the whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
They had a whole thing. They delivered a whipped cream, the thing that you use for dessert or whatever, whipped cream, and it was all... None of it worked because you were breathing it or something. I don't know what you did with it.
That was bad too because that was at Nanner Splitz's.
Oh yeah.
And I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
And what else have they got? Nothing. They'd make somebody go Kroger get a bunch of Cool Whip.
I think you shut them down. You got fired and you shut them down for at least a day and a half.
I shut down Nanner Splitz's and J. Billy Carter Harder.
Well, then I
shut them all down, son.
It ain't nothing to be proud of.
Give me time enough. They won't let me. They see me come in there and they say, how old are you? And I say, I'm however old Harry Styles is.
Who?
They say, I don't think you should work here. I mean, they said that years ago too, but now they say it with more pity in their eyes. I didn't used to get the pity. I get a lot more pity now these days.
Well, yeah.
I don't have a cigar, but I found a Sharpie I've been huffing on.
What?
And just holding it in your mouth. And I kind of feel, the one thing I feel an affinity with Rush Limbaugh on, well, is holding these Sharpies in your mouth. It's like a cigar. It makes you feel and just kind of kick back, just reminiscing about when things were good and you were ruining restaurants or whatever he reminisced about, which was slightly more racist and ruining restaurants. And I see the appeal. Oh yeah. What is the appeal about having a cigar or a Sharpie in your mouth?
All right. I'm going to make a new rule for our podcast, this one and the rest of them. Don't describe what you got in your mouth. Rule number 1. Rule number 2 is don't tell anybody you're patting yourself down for whatever it is. I don't want to know about it. Don't nobody want to hear about it.
All right, well, let me write these down. Where did I put that list?
All right. Shut your mouth.
I had it here.
I don't want to think about you. Nothing in your mouth.
I might slipped in this crevice here. Or something.
All right. Enough.
Hold on. I'll get it. I'll fish it out.
Listen, we want to thank all you. Sorry about this part of it, but I want to thank everybody else for listening to us. We thank you kindly if you still listen to us, whether you like Trump, don't like him, like Biden, hate Biden, we don't, whatever it is. We thank you for listening. If you listen to get mad, so be it. If you listen to laugh, good luck. And if you listen because you like it, good luck to you on that too. But we want to thank all the people that listen, and we appreciate the ones that go over to our Patreon page because they help us keep us running on here, keep the computers plugged in, everything running. And if you give us 50 cents, we'll thank you kindly. If you give us $1, we'll thank you kindly. We appreciate everything a little bit that people can do. But I tell you what, if you give us that $5 a month or more, you're going to get that whole extra 20 minutes. That's right, extra 20 minutes of me talking and him over there talking, hopefully not with anything in his mouth. Well, we thank you kindly. We appreciate it. But we also got to do, besides that, as if that weren't bad enough that we had to ask people for money of any kind, we also have to do local sponsors. Money adds up. As soon as it's in your hand, it's out. And that's just how it is. And in order to keep this show running, we got to have a sponsor. We got to have a sponsor give us $25. And we're gonna do a little commercial, if you will, advertisement, however you want to call it. It's a sponsor, and I got a good one for you this week. It's the same one as last week, and this was basically just, I'm going to do the best I can here. They just want me to clear, what they asked me to do is to clear all this up, and I'm not sure I understand what it is to clear up. But if you listened last week, it was Gentleman Jim's 2 shots for 2 shots, and that's Gentleman Jim's two. I left out a 2. Gentleman Jim's 2 shots for 2 shots. And that's, of course, the Gentleman Jim's 2 that we talk about on here in the Murfreesboro that we live in, that we talk about on here a lot often. And if you got your second, vaccine shot, you went in there and got your opportunity to have 2 shots of, I think it's what was underneath the bar. It was 8 through the bucket, but if you don't need but one of those, if even half of one of those, which most people was my age and older, because they got the 2 shots, they couldn't handle but one of those anyway. You don't need the second one. You good on that. But Dunlap, Gentleman Jim's, if there's a Gentleman Jim's 2, there has to be a Gentleman Jim's 1. Well, I don't guess it has to be.
Oh, yeah.
But there is one. And let me tell you, for those who are getting, they told me to clear this up. This Johnson and Johnson, the vaccine with abortion in it, that one, you only need, evidently only need one of them. You don't need to get 2, just get 1. So they were people who was getting 1 Johnson and Johnson were going down to Jim's 2 and saying, we want, I'm vaccinated, give them my 2 shots. And they said, well, you didn't get but 1. And that has just confusion. People getting mad at each other. Usually people drunk too. That's how it starts. But with 1 shot or 2 shots, whatever, basically Johnson and Johnson abortion shot, people that was getting that was saying it was unfair that they couldn't have the 2 shots. Well, this is where, if I understand correctly, where Gentleman Jim's 1 comes in. Because it wasn't doing this. It was just, Gentleman Jim 2 is kind of their own thing. But I guess now, if you get a Johnson & Johnson and get 1 shot, don't go over to Gentleman Jim's 2. Or if you go there, go on over to Gentleman Jim's 1 first. Of course, I don't know why anybody would go to Gentleman Jim's 2 after sitting at Gentleman Jim's 1. That don't make any sense to me. The only people that go over to Gentleman Jim's 2 after they go to Gentleman Jim's 1 is usually somebody that gets kicked out of Gentleman Jim's 1 for drinking too much or whatever else they're doing, causing trouble.
Gentleman Jim's 1 is fancy compared to Gentleman Jim's 2.
Oh, yeah.
Gentleman Jim's 2 versus 1, there's no comparison. It's like a Skid Row flop house versus the Honeydew Melon Ritz-Carlton.
Trust me, if you only get the 1 shot, you're going to be happy to pay for the second one at Gentleman Jim's 1 just for the ambiance alone.
They got champagne there. I've had it. I've seen somebody walk into Gentleman Jim's 1 and say, bottle of champagne, please. And people didn't even say nothing about it. No, you used to walk in Jim. Can you imagine going in Gentleman Jim's 2 and going, got a bottle of champagne, please?
You couldn't even do that on
you get
New Year's Eve. You couldn't do it. No.
I'm sorry. Did you want a fancy New Year's? Then why don't you go on over to Gentleman Jim's 1? This is Gentleman Jim's 2, where if you ask for champagne, we're going to shank you with a bottle opener. All their bottle openers are sharp and can be weapons. At Gentleman Jim's 2. At Gentleman Jim's 1, you could order a bottle. You can say, "Can I have a bottle opener, please?" And they give you a bottle opener, and it's fancy, like in a scientist's house.
Wow.
Like Margaret Dumont would have. Like somebody with a monocle would have a bottle opener. That's the kind of Gentleman Jim's 1. If you want to impress somebody, you're going to take him Gentleman Jim's 1. You can't go in there with you need like a snakeskin billfold. Like you need sheer socks. You can't just go into Gentleman Jim's 1 just dressed like you got off work. Maybe you went to the gym. Maybe you're changing your oil. That's Gentleman Jim's 2. If you got oil all over you, go to Gentleman Jim's 2. That's where they don't care.
Yeah, I know more than a few janitors, clean up bathroom mess all day and night, at the job, depending on what shift they're doing. And you can go right on over if you go in Gentleman's Jim's 2, nobody going to tell the difference. They don't know what you done all day because it's already got that smell beforehand. But the point being, though, regardless of which one you go to, if you get one shot, go on to Gentleman Jim's 1. If you got your Johnson abortion shot, go to Gentleman Jim's 1. Have that one free shot, and I guarantee you, instead of going over to Gentleman Jim's 2, just go ahead and pay for you're going to get the full treatment at Gentleman Jim's 1. And until they figure out 2 shots, I guess Gentleman Jim's 2 still doing 2 shots for 2 shots, and I know there's some people that are waiting to get the second shot so they can head on over there. I don't know. Now, if you didn't get a Johnson & Johnson a shot and you just got a regular Moderna, whatever the hell it is, and you only have that one shot, I didn't check on this. Maybe you can still go to Gentleman Jim's 1 and just get one shot because you've only had one shot, or is it that you're fully vaccinated? I don't know. I'm going to have to get in touch with them. I think we give a pretty good rundown on you can decide for yourself after we talked about it, which one you want to go to. But, Gentleman Jim's 1 and 2, I suppose, are my sponsors. Appreciate it this week. Glad to help us out with that $25. Happy to have them as a sponsor, and hopefully people, like I said, you've heard enough. You know where you want to go or what kind of vaccination you want to get.
And again, probably best case scenario here, don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Sit your ass at home, get the shot.
Put your mask back on and go home. Yeah. You can go. You can go by any Dodgers bar, any place you want to go, get you whatever kind of, liquor store. There's something open. Get whatever kind. You can have 24 shots at home, depending on what you get. Stay home.
I mean, you can sit out on the patio, but like Gentleman Jim's 2, nobody wants to sit outside because, the police roll by all the time.
Well, yeah.
And Gentleman Jim's 2 outside is like a damn wanted poster. Oh, Gentleman Jim's 2 to hide. All right, folks. Friends, enemies. Hey, that's not bad. Friends, acquaintances. Friends, low places. Jackie, I got a sponsor this week. I think you'll like it okay.
I don't know.
You remember last week, Jackie? Do you remember our sponsor last week?
Well, I had some questions about it.
Batussin.
Yep. I'm all for making it's cornbread, right?
Stug Roombatussin wanted to make. There's a little bit of a story here. I feel like we don't on this podcast. We usually keep it pretty short, and we don't take the time to really fill in the backspace. So let me just, if you'll indulge me,
I'd like to take a little time to set this up properly. Stug Roombatussin runs Roombatussin Family Farms. You know the Roombatusins. They've been farming that land over there for a long time, Jackie. Stug is younger. He's in the 30-something Farmers Association. He's not one of the older Roombatusins. He's on the, I'd say, middle of the pack. He's a bunch of youngins.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're getting up to over there, but there's a bunch of younger Roombatusins running around. So Stug won the Tennessee 30-something Farmers Association free tractor paragraph contest. He wrote a really compelling paragraph about being a farmer. Farming, it's in his blood and the hard times. You got to keep it going, family. It's almost like a country song. It's one mention of a truck away from being a hit country song.
That's a good paragraph in, yeah.
It's a good paragraph. He didn't win first prize. He won, come in second place. He won, the prize was from the Tracto Field Eliminator Company. He won a Tracto Field Eliminator. First place got Tracto Field Eliminator 2000. Has Bluetooth and a better warranty. But he didn't come in second place. What else could a poor old farmer want from a contest, is what he said. And a Tracto Field Eliminator ain't bad.
Well,
that ain't a bad place to be, to have a Tracto Field Eliminator.
No, not at all. Huh?
But he only gets it for 5 months or 70 hours of tractor. And he's been riding around in it. He's done up to 68 hours. And so he's about to have to give up that tractor. And he says, Dunlap, nothing has ever made me feel as good as this tractor. I said, nothing? He said, nothing. I said, well, shit, man, you need to hang on this Tracto Field Eliminator then. He said, I know it. That's why I am intent on building the world's largest cornbread man here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He needs a little bit of money, and this is why he's sponsoring our podcast. He needs milk, some Martha White, needs to spray something on it, keep birds from eating it. The typical things that one would need while constructing the world's largest cornbread man. I said, I think that's a great idea. People will come from miles around to see the world's largest cornbread man. I'm going to tell Jackie all about it. And then Jackie, Mr. Buzzkill.
Hey.
Can't stand to see nobody happy about nothing. Somebody might succeed at something. Hey, why don't you cancel student debt? No, make them suffer. How about $15 minimum wage? Hell, I'll give them a bologna sandwich, sweep a parking lot out. How about we build the world's largest cornbread man to fund buying a Tracto Field Eliminator tractor for hardworking lifeblood of America farmer, Stug Roombatussin. Jackie said, I got a bunch of questions. Well, they got to pass your test.
No.
To prove whether they're worthy of making it in this society that we live in.
I do have some questions. Is he going to make a whole, for a while, is he going to make just the foot? Are you making the whole man?
Yep.
It seemed like I didn't get a full answer on a lot of this stuff, and I think if you want my money, you need to satisfy my interests, my curiosity. I'm happy.
I sit down with him at the table, and we made a chart, we made a graph, we made a PowerPoint, I don't really know what the PowerPoint is, but we fiddled around a little bit, and we called one of the things a PowerPoint because it was powerful and it made some great points. I thought that's where I got these Sharpies I've been huffing on. And I love office supplies. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So if you got a question, he said, okay, Dunlap, you take all the information we just compiled and everything I just figured out, and you go back to Jackie and you just answer any of his questions, I won't be insulted. I'm asking somebody for their money. I'm here to provide the answers they need to feel comfortable giving me money to build the world's largest cornbread man so that people will come from miles around and pay $5 to look at it. And I'll take that $5 and I'll buy this Tracto field eliminator to keep working the family farm. Because that's what life's like in 2021.
If he gonna
So
charge,
hit me, Jackie, whatever you got.
if he gonna charge $5 just to look at it, then how's he gonna cover it up? How's he gonna shield it? Because if it's as big as he's talking it to be, I don't got to pay you a dime. I can drive down the road and see how big it is. See it right there. If it's gonna be that big, how's he gonna? You can't build it indoors. You can't put no kind of tarp over it. That I know of, and just take it off for people that give you $5. He got to, these are the questions I want to know, because I want to give him his $5, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who will give him $5 just for the effort of, making it. But you know how people are. Some of them just I just drove by and looked at it. I saw it fine. I didn't give him nothing. You're going to have those people, and I just want to know what can you do to avoid that problem.
Well, he ain't going to tell nobody where it is, first off.
What?
He's going to hide it away from the public for the beginning.
What, he going to blindfold you and take you to it?
No, after it gets going, he'll tell you where it is. But by that point, he'll made enough money off the first looky-loos who he escorts to the location blindfolded that he'll be able to afford military-grade cloaking equipment.
What?
Like a Harry Potter coat, you put it on, you invisible, or
Harry Potter invisible coat, and everybody knows ain't real. Now, there is that stuff they put on that new Invisible Man. Do you see that new Invisible Man? The main one.
Yeah.
Not the nice one, not the old one that it was so small. I'm talking about the main one. Just knock the hell out of people. The main one.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good movie.
The government got that now. That's how they come up with that, because this Invisible Man
what I'm saying.
Was based on real stuff. Now, there's a bunch of it. I'm sure it's expensive to make enough to put on one man. Now, if you go put it on a giant, put all that invisible stuff all over, that's lots of government big time money, and they ain't gonna have no interest in lending out that technology. I'm sorry, Rubentussen, he ain't gonna get his hands on that, because they ain't gonna give that much of it, because Lord knows they don't have but a little bit anyway.
Well, money talks, Jackie, and if he makes as much money as he thinks he will in the first year or 2 or 3, then he'll take that and then use it to bribe military contractors to cut them in on future profits so that they'll give him the technology to cloak it, and then he can advertise with the location of the giant cornbread man on billboards, flyers, Facebook, etc. And then people will come and it'll explode even further.
No.
There's a few steps, but there always are. There's action items, and we just have to take items. Action
government
items.
The secret, whoever makes that top secret invisible suit, they ain't got no interest in helping him out. Why the hell are they going to do that? They ain't going. He can't pay him enough money, and there ain't no reason that they going to give all that technology for a giant cornbread man. I don't believe it. Unless that giant cornbread man is going to walk around and knock the hell out of people, then maybe.
Well, I think a walking cornbread man is definitely on the table for phase 2.
Right. No, because I ain't going to pay no money to make a giant invisible cornbread man that's going to walk around and knock the hell out of people. You ain't getting my money for that. They That don't serve nobody's interest. And I sure as hell ain't gonna pay $5 for you to blindfold me, take me out in the middle of the woods for an invisible giant cornbread man, knock the hell out of me. That's just, why don't you just knock the hell out of me as soon as you put the blindfold on? Take my $5.
The cornbread man, look, if you, we talked about that. We said, is there a market for putting on a cornbread man suit and just knocking the hell out of people, or letting them fight you, or maybe some kinky sex stuff?
Enough. I don't want to hear it.
What we decided on was, okay, you may not want to go out in the woods blindfolded, see invisible giant cornbread man, pay $5. Is that worth it? Whether or not you get knocked the hell out of you. What if it was giant cornbread man and his giant cornbread family?
What?
That's worth $5 right there. And then people will pay the $5 to see the giant cornbread man and his family. And I'm not talking about mama, daddy, baby. I'm talking about 4 kids, a wife, her mother, his mother, grandparents, cousins, uncles, aunts. Just keep building them as fast as we can to have a large family of cornbread man. And then when we get to phase 2, and there's still a lot that can happen between phase 1 and phase 2 of giant cornbread man. But for phase 2, what we're thinking of is if we can get him up and moving around like Statue of Liberty and Ghostbusters 2, who's he going to knock the hell out of? Home invaders.
What?
We got a whole scenario plan, a home invasion scenario where we got to have a house. So we got to build a giant cornbread man and his family. And then there's a house. They're having some sort of reunion, or maybe it's someone's at like a 50th anniversary. And then there's a home invasion. So we got to build a giant home invasion. Now, we could build this without making them move around, where we just sort of have them posed in provocative ways. Oh, they're the home invaders. Oh, they're having a 50th anniversary. It's sort of about body language. And we've been talking to dance troupes and mimes and ballet companies about how to incorporate intention through movement, or the lack of movement, like more intention, less movement. That's what Stug said. And we've been getting some interesting proposals. So I think phase 2 is really going to blow people's socks off. But Stug said this 100 times, as sure as I'm sitting here. Like, phase 2 don't mean nothing if we can't pull off phase 1. We have to have a successful phase 1. We have to build a giant cornbread man. We have to make it invisible so that people don't come look at it for free. We have to build it out in the woods, and we have to find an audience of willing, blindfolded customers. That's job 1.
Now, I'm being like you here. I've only got more questions than I had last week for this. Now, you talk about making all of his family. Now, are they his size or regular size? Because if you're making them all regular size, then you're cheating.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Jackie. We spent several nights just arguing, like, well, why can't he be the only giant one? Maybe he was bewitched or enchanted at some point, and he's giant. And then that'd save us so much cornbread, so much time and cornbread. One giant one with a foot the size of a house, and all the rest just normal people, normal-sized cornbread people, which is still a lot of cornbread. We've been baking prototypes, and just little cornbread people, which is really just a pan of cornbread that we took a knife to, still takes a long time. I mean, we don't really know how to make cornbread.
This started out.
But what we decided on, Jackie, was you're right. It would be a cheat. They all have to be giant.
No.
But it won't be a problem. Once the money starts coming in, then we'll get the brain power because brains cost money.
All right.
Jackie, you said it yourself last week. I asked you, would you pay to just see the world's largest cornbread man's foot? And you said no. You wouldn't pay a fucking nickel for that. Well,
Hey,
I heard you loud and clear,
did,
my friend.
I did not say it that way. I said, no, I want to see a whole cornbread man. That sound like something, like a giant ball of twine, a dinosaur, whatever, on the side of the freeway. Yeah, sure. I'm going to pull over. If you got a sign telling me you got I'm going to, and it costs $10, $5, however, how much? In that range, definitely. Not more than $10, but still. You got my interest. Now, I pull in there, I don't see nothing, and then somebody starts to put a blindfold on me. No, sir. No, you ain't. No, I ain't doing it. You ain't getting no money from me. I'm going to get on out of there. Before you take my $5, you try to put, nobody going to put no blindfold on me. No one's going to take me out nowhere. Now, look, I'll be honest, if you did put a blindfold on me and held me down and I was trying to get away, which anybody should, and for whatever reason you didn't, and all of a sudden you took a blindfold off and there's a cornbread giant one with regular size, I agree, if there's a bunch of them, that would be impressive, and I'd probably be a little less angry at you than I would be if there wasn't nothing. But I'm still going to be mad if you put a blindfold and tie me down and drive me out somewhere. That's not going. I'm going to still want at least half my money back for that.
Okay, you're making this more violent than it needs to be.
Right.
Although, in my experience, these things turn out more violent than they need to be. So it's something to think about. I do agree with you that once the blindfold is off and you see the giant cornbread man and you see the regular sized or possibly giant sized cornbread extensive family, that you would be less angry. The key that we have to figure out, what we have to balance, is how angry is too angry for a customer to be after they've seen our giant cornbread man. Because what we want repeat business. It's one of these things we're not going to know till we do it. We just got to get this giant cornbread man built with a foot the size of a house. We got to get plans going on the family. We got to get the military grade invisibility machinery. We've got to get a lot of blindfolds. As with the coronavirus, that's one thing that is not going to change once we all get vaccinated and things get back to the way they were. Nobody's going to use the same blindfold twice.
Right.
You're not going to want to use a blindfold that's just been on a stranger. So I said we have to have clean, one-use blindfolds.
I ain't going to.
Well, he said, "Well, now that's bad for the environment."
What? I ain't going to use.
I said, "Well, maybe we can work on on-site laundry." There is. Payroll is becoming a burden as we plan this out. More and more people involved, and a small crew there in the woods that may have to be on staff 24/7. So we're going to probably have to pay some overtime. We're probably going to have to pay some. We're probably going to have to build some sort of housing, some sort of barracks.
Wow.
I don't know if you want to get in on this. Maybe you could be the person in the parking lot. I just see you out there telling people where to park.
No, I ain't gonna. I know, and I don't care how many blindfolds you got. I don't like blindfolds. You ain't putting whether it's just a scarf around my eyes or a bandana, or I don't even like them fancy kind that rich people put on their face when they have to go to go sleep. I don't like those, silk or whatever they're made out of. I don't know. I don't like no kind of blindfold. There ain't no good blindfold as far as I'm concerned that's going to be on my face.
Would you let us tell you to close your eyes, and if you try to open them, we smack you in the nose?
No. So you get smacking.
Is that better or
no?
Is that better or worse than a blindfold?
Get smacked. It don't matter if you got a blindfold on or not. Nobody gonna hit me. No.
Well, I guess it's back to the drawing board.